This is the Sabbath School lesson for the fourth quarter, 2021.
Lesson 7 from our series Present Truth in Deuteronomy is titled Law and Grace, ready for teaching on November 13, and I'm Percy Harold. Tuesday, November 9. Letov Lak. Skeptics, those looking for reasons to reject the Bible, often point to some strong words of God that appear in the Old Testament. The idea is that the God of the Old Testament was harsh, vindictive, and mean-spirited, especially in contrast to Jesus. This isn't a new argument, but it's as flawed now as it was when first promoted many centuries ago. Again and again the Old Testament presents the Lord as loving his ancient people Israel and wanting only what is best for them, and this love appears powerfully in the book of Deuteronomy. Read Deuteronomy 10, 1-15. What is the immediate context of these verses, and what do they teach us about how God felt toward his people even after their sin? What do they teach us, indeed, about grace? Deuteronomy 10, beginning at verse 1. At that time the Lord said to me, Hew for yourselves 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and make yourself an ark of wood. And I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed 2 tablets of stone like the first, and went up the mountain, having the 2 tablets in my hand. And he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which the Lord had spoken to you in the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them to me. Then I turned and came down from the mountain, and put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and there they are, just as the Lord commanded me. Now the children of Israel journeyed from the wells of Bene-Jaakan to Mosera, where Aaron died, and where he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered as priest in his stead. From there they journeyed to Gudgodah, and from Gudgodah to Jotbatham, a land of rivers and water. At that time the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the people to minister to him and to bless in his name to this day. Therefore Levi has no portion nor inheritance with his brethren. The Lord is his inheritance, just as the Lord your God promised him. As at the first time I stayed in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, the Lord also heard me at that time, and the Lord chose not to destroy you. Then the Lord said to me, Arise, begin your journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you, but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways and to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command you today, for your good. Indeed, heaven and the highest heavens belong to the Lord your God, also the earth with all that is in it. The Lord delighted only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their descendants after them, you, above all peoples, as it is this day. God's grace and love for Israel exudes from these texts. Notice particularly verses 12 and 13. They are really one long sentence, a question, and a question is simple. What am I, the Lord, asking you to do but the following? Walk in my ways, love me, serve me, and keep my statutes for your own good. All through the Hebrew in these verses, the words for your and you are in singular form. Though God certainly is speaking to the nation as a whole, what good will his words do if the people each one individually don't obey them? The whole is only as good as the sum of the parts. The Lord was speaking one-to-one, individually, to Israel as a nation. We can't forget either the end of verse 13. Keep these things, Letov Lak, we read at the beginning of today's study. That is, for your good. In other words, God is commanding the people to obey because it is in their best interest to do so. God made them, God sustains them, God knows what is best for them, and he wants what's best for them. Obedience to his law, to his 10 Commandments, can work only to their benefit. The law also has been compared to a hedge, a wall of protection, and by staying within the wall, God's followers are protected from a raft of evils that otherwise would overtake and destroy them. In short, out of love for his people, God gave them his law, and obedience to his law would be for your good. And so to finish the day, what are ways in which we can see for ourselves how our obedience to God's law has indeed been for our own good? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind, and It Is Written. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. Remember, God is always faithful.